Hey, it's Clay. Welcome to another League of Legends video. This time we are doing a why-buy on Thresh the Chain Warden. Thresh is the man. He is widely considered one of the strongest supports. I see him very frequently in a competitive and higher elo play. You'll see him get banned fairly frequently. He is just a truly powerful support, and I would say that his main kind of hallmark is his ability to absolutely control positioning on the battlefield. Look at this engage here. Vayne and I are going ham, throwing down my ward, but it's going to be another 8 seconds till my hook comes off cooldown, so unfortunately we can't capitalize. Maybe if Vayne had took her E at level 1, we could have stunned Nami into the wall and gotten a kill, but that would have been a little bit odd. But anyways, about this game, I just want to admit beforehand, before you all watch it, that this game was not so serious. I was playing with 5 friends, so many of you who are watching will probably recognize yourselves in this video. And I will also just go ahead and spoil the game and tell you that the enemy Rengar ends up going like 30-0 or something like that. So just be aware of that. Why? So you just kind of don't put any attention to that. We're gonna focus on Thresh though, because I actually don't own Thresh, but I play him when he comes up on Free Week all the time, and I play against him all the time. So I feel like I have a pretty solid understanding of how he works. And I feel like at least the Great Marl and I, the Vayne in this game, we had a fantastic laning phase. I was landing hooks left and right, and it was a lot of fun. So that's kind of why I picked it. There goes First Blood, getting that Rengar off to his super fed start. But anyways, let's talk about Thresh. He is a bit of a complex champion. I think in terms of his ability mechanics, he is one of the more complex champs in the game. There's the first hook onto Nami, getting a nice chunk of damage. We actually are level 2, so we are quite aggressive. Ooh, a nice bubble right there from Nami, but they're not able to capitalize too much. We had a nice trade going until that last bubble landed, but again, one of the advantages to pushing your lane. But anyways, let's start talking about Thresh and his abilities. Oh, I missed a hook. 1 for 2. We'll kind of keep track of that unofficially. But anyways, his passive, Damnation. Thresh will collect souls from dead, usually minions. If he walks near them, these souls will give him armor and ability power, stacking over time. I believe that champions and large minions drop bigger ones, whereas small ones... Okay, yeah, it does say that there, that they drop smaller ones. But to contrast with that, he does not gain armor per level like most other champions. I believe all other champions gain armor per level. So, interesting mechanic here. It kind of gives Thresh an interesting little mini-game. Ooh, a nice little hook right there. Gives Thresh an interesting little mini-game to play. Oh, not quite able to finish off that kill. A lot of action in this bot lane. But it gives him a little mini-game to go ahead and pick up these souls. You'll see the little green things kind of spinning. He can't actually pick it up with his W, so I may throw that out from time to time to pick those up. But you see walking to pick those up right there. So you really do want to pick these up. This definitely adds up over time. He can become very, very tanky if you do this. I believe they recently nerfed / changed the way this mechanic works, so he's not quite so strong early on, so that he is incentivized to go out and pick these up, because they, like I said, do make you quite tanky. There's a nice pull. Does Vayne have the condemn? No, she does not, but... Oh, she is going to get away. But here's Nasus. Not too afraid, though, because I don't think their enemy team's going to be able to follow up. He withers me, which was an interesting choice. Please, Nasus, wither me all day and every day. I'm wondering... Oh, it looks like Vayne actually took 2 in Silver Bolts, so that's why she doesn't have her E. Okay, well, a couple of opportunities there to use it. I actually like to take my E on level 2 on Vayne, but I guess that's just me. But anyways, Thresh's passive, if you want to collect the souls, pretty straightforward. You can see one just faded right there. You don't want to put yourself in too much of a harm's way, you know, if it would like cause you to maybe die or something crazy like that, or take a lot of trade damage. But you do want to try to make an effort to try to pick up these souls throughout the game, because it really will stack and help you to be quite tanky. Next up we get his Q. This is his Death Sentence, also known as his hook, probably his most signature ability. He will throw out his lantern. It will technically, I believe it is technically referred to as a stun, which occurs after a short windup. And then if it connects with an enemy, it will tether Thresh to them, deal damage, stun them for 1.5 seconds. But then while this tether persists, Thresh will tug on the tether each time in the direction towards himself, so you can kind of like lead them around or like pull them back towards your team. It's not quite like a Blitzcrank hook, but it's kind of like a... I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of its own thing. But a couple of short tugs in between. And then Thresh has the ability to reactivate his Q. You can see as we're going super ham on these guys. He has the ability to reactivate it, and then he will actually jump to the target. Ooh, there was a nice flay right there. But he will jump towards the target, which is his Death Leap, and then it will remove the stun, but Thresh will jump towards them and then able to start attacking. So overall, very nice ability. It does have some decent base damage and AP scaling, 50%, and also has a relatively long cooldown, 18 to 12 seconds. There's a nice death sentence right there, and into a play. There's a nice set of damage there from Vayne. Good job to follow up. But yeah, this is his main ability. It's his main form of initiation. It's his main form of like CC. And a good, well-timed death sentence really, really wrecks. It is 1.5 seconds is a fairly long stun. I would say anything over 1 second would be, in my mind, considered a long stun. And it's just very, very effective and useful. You can also do some neat little tricks with this by kind of pulling yourself, you know, up over walls or through jungle camps if you hook onto neutral monsters. There's a nice death sentence right there. An okay flay, but it looks like Vayne is going to pick up that kill, so it looked like it did its job. And you can also, especially late game, I would say it's very, very useful to pull if you land a death sentence, pull yourself into the middle of the enemy team, then use your ultimate, the box, and the flay to get some nice AoE CC down, was probably the best part about this, but it's a relatively straightforward. There are people who, at higher levels, will kind of flash hook, is kind of a well-known Thresh tactic, but that's pretty high level. But for the most part, you kind of want to get a gauge and feel for the wind-up time is probably the biggest challenge with this. It does have a relatively slow cast animation, but overall still very strong. So that's his death sentence. Definitely his main and best form of CC. See if I'm going to get a death sentence off here. There is the death sentence to hook in this Nasus. Unfortunately, though, Vayne gets blinded, and there's a nice flay. Good job. I'm actually able to pick up that kill, but now I'm in a bit of trouble. Nasus, I think, is ghosting after me, and I think I am going to go down. Yep, there's the death right there. So anyways, let's move on to his W, Dark Passage, also known as his Lantern. Thresh will throw out his Lantern to target location. It will remain there up to 6 seconds, and then an ally has the opportunity to right-click on it, and they will suddenly be yanked towards Thresh. It goes up to 1,500 units, which is quite a long time. It also will grant a shield for any ally who comes in contact with it. So this is, and it also will collect souls from his passive. So this is probably, again, you know, his abilities are so multi-use, and this is no exception. This is such a useful ability, Dark Passage. It's one of the most powerful abilities to set up ganks with. You can, so if we're in this position, I could tell my jungler to kind of come back in this little brush right here, and then, you know, throw down my Lantern, run towards the enemy, and then the jungler all they have to do is click. Oh, missed the death sentence right there. All the jungler has to do is click. It just has so many uses. You can use it to save allies who get stuck and get caught out. You can see I'm throwing it down right there for the shield. You can use it to pull enemies towards a fight. It has so many different uses and opportunities to make sweet, sweet plays. Again, your Q is more your stun and your crowd control on the enemy team, while your W is more of your ability to augment the positioning of your allies. It's kind of the way that I look at it. The shield isn't anything to scoff at. It goes up to 220 with a 40. There's a nice death sentence right there, and a nice flay. Oh, gonna get that kill. Vayne's gonna flash in and pick it up. Good job by Vayne to follow up on that. How many kills is Vayne up to? 3, 1, and 1. Very good job by Great Marl. Anyways, that's his W. Overall, very, very strong, and again, another multi-use ability. Next up would be his E, Flay. This is, again, another multi-use ability that has the ability to help out with your positioning. It has a passive component. Thresh's basic attacks will deal bonus magic damage on each hit. The value is equal to the total number of souls collected, so that's important, that the souls also will boost your E. Plus the percentage of his attack damage based on the amount of time since his last attack. So if it's very much geared towards boosting your damage as a support. So if you're collecting souls, if you are, you know, kind of spacing out, you're not like constantly auto attacking, you'll get this bonus magic damage, and it has souls plus up to 200% AD at max rank. So overall, quite a good ability. You definitely want to mix in auto attacks with Thresh. He has a short auto attack range, but it's not melee, so it's still useful. you really do want to intersperse auto attacks in with your abilities to try and take advantage of this and get that a little extra bit of damage off. But then there's also an active component with his Flay. Basically, he will kind of sweep either forwards or backwards in a target line location. It is, I believe, skill shot based, or it's not targeted. It's like a... Oh, there's a lot of people in the enemy team. We'll see if I get a good opportunity to use it. But and then whichever direction you push, the enemies will be knocked in that direction and slowed as well. So we'll see if I find an opportunity. It looks like I did actually use it. Let's see if it comes off cooldown again. Oh, I actually picked up the kill. My bad. Sorry, team. I was trying to make sure that Rengar didn't die. But if you ever see, it kind of has this like sweeping motion, and the idea is that it extends out 400 range both to your front and to your back of both of the directions in which, and it's kind of like a, I don't exactly know how to describe it. It has the width of maybe, ooh, almost missed that. It has the width of maybe a Lux laser. Is that maybe the proper width? But it will actually, see if I use it here in this game. There's the Flay right there. I missed. I was trying to Flay towards my Vayne. So you can use it to kind of keep enemies away. You can use it to pull enemies towards you. And then, like I said, it will happen both in front of you and behind you. So it's kind of a weird, I would say this is probably his most technically difficult skill to get a hold of. But it's skill shot based in that, you know, if it centers around Thresh and then will turn all the way around him at 360 degrees. So you want to make sure that you line... Oh, another missed hook. But if you want to make sure that you line it up there, you can see I used it right there unsuccessfully. But you want to line it up so that it will hit your opponents. But then you want to... If you want to go forward, you kind of... oh, golly, another missed hook. I think Vayne... Oh, another missed Flay. Just totally failing right here. But, you know, his Flay is very useful. The knockback is nice. You can knock enemies out of channeled abilities with it. You can kind of, like something like a Tristana rocket jump. If she's rocket jumps, you can immediately Flay and keep her towards you and knock that away. It just has so many different uses. And the slow on top of it as well. Again, Thresh is just loaded with crowd controls and with repositioning tools. He's just very strong support in general. So anyways, that's his Flay. It is a little bit of a tricky ability. If you're going to pick him up, I would recommend just kind of spending some time with it. It's hard to explain how the mechanic works, but basically you kind of want to either aim at, you know, if you want to knock away, you aim at your opponent, and then it will knock at the direction of your cursor. If you want to pull them towards you, you need to make sure that you aim behind yourself parallel with your opponent. So that's kind of, I think, the best way to describe it in no less light words. But it looks like they're going to try for this dragon. But I think we might be able to scare him off. There's the Q. And let's see if I can get a Flay off. Nope, I'm actually just going to straight up die to this Rengar, who again is super fed out of his mind. And it looks like my team is just going to end up dying here. So bad stretch from us. But anyways, last up will be his ultimate. There's that Rengar. He's so massive. Last up will be his ultimate, the Box. Basically, in an area around Thresh, he will summon 5 walls. And these walls are quite powerful. Oh my, I just totally lost the whole HUD. But these walls last up to 5 seconds, and any enemy that walks through the walls will be slowed by 99% for 2 seconds. But breaking the wall, and then once it is broken, the remaining wall deals half damage and half the slow through the rest of the duration. So, again, and it also has a fairly high base damages. So, this is his best team fighting crowd control. A 99% slow for 2 seconds is incredibly strong. It might just as well be a stun. They can still auto attack, so I guess maybe more like a root, but 99% slow is pretty intense. It basically means that they are not getting out of there, but the idea there is that you kind of want to get into the middle of the enemy team and then use your box to kind of keep everybody to stay put. So it kind of is very effective for preventing people from getting away. There's a nice death sentence right there. Wondering if I'll use my box. There's the box right there. It was a beautifully timed box to keep everybody in near. I got it off on all 3 members, and then we are going to get some kills here. But unfortunately, Rengar is on the loose, and he is extremely massive. So, unfortunately, I think we're not going to pick up any more kills. So, just taking a look at the box. Oh, there is more deaths. Rengar is just killing everything. Oh my gosh, he is so fit. He's up to 16-0 by now. Wowzers. Rengar is 16-0. He's level 13. In comparison, I am level 10. So he has 3 levels on me. He is incredibly massive. But if you look at Vayne, she is 7-3-2, and I have 6 assists. So been able to really help out in getting a good number of kills going. So anyways, those are Thresh's abilities. He is relatively complex, I would say, in terms of supports. His abilities have multi-uses, is definitely the thing that stands out to me about his kit, is that pretty much everything in his skill set has multi-use. And there are a lot of different ways that you can chain everything together. Obviously, his most effective crowd control chain would be throwing out your Q to kind of grab them. You can pull yourself to them or pull them to your team, whichever one works better. Then you would flay them with your E, also getting the slow, and then you would throw out the box to kind of keep them locked in place. There goes a nice Q. You can see I'm using my box, and there's the nice flay onto 2 members of the enemy team. They're throwing down my lantern in case anybody wants to chase. We'll see if Vayne takes it. No, she does not, but doing a nice job of trying to keep... Ooh, it looks like this Rengar, though. Ooh, Pantheon's jumping in. Man, Rengar is massive. Can I get another Q? There goes the nice auto attack, and there goes another auto attack to try to help pick up some of these Qs. I actually did get the shutdown on Rengar. That's hilarious. Throwing down my shield there to try to stay alive. Am I going to flash over this wall? Yes, I am. Thankfully, I'm going to get away. So actually, that fight didn't go so poorly for us. That was pretty darn good, actually. So again, you could see some good uses of all of my abilities, chaining them together. Again, throwing your Q into your flay, into your ultimate is the most logical progression of his abilities. It just provides a ton of crowd control. It is very, very effective in terms of locking down individual members as well as complete members of the enemy team. His shield is also quite useful for the laning, so that kind of provides him his best utility in lane for as far as keeping your allies alive. But then other than that, he really is more about the crowd control. He is a crowd control monster. He scales fairly well into late game with the ability on the mechanics on his passive. Yeah, overall he definitely, there's a nice knockback there. Unfortunately, though, we haven't been able to get this Rengar. Oh, he's so strong, and I do think I am going to end up falling here. Oh, shucks, that's unfortunate. But yeah, nothing really much more to say about his abilities. He is, relatively complex, like I said. In terms of strengths and weaknesses, I would say that Thresh is really good because he is effective in both, more aggressive lanes as well as more passive lanes. He can peel very well. You can use his flay and his hook to kind of keep people away, as well as his box, or you could also try to be more aggressive, trying to hook into the enemy, and then using the leap from your hook to go into them, engaging with your flay, kind of like a Blitzcrank would. So he's very, very useful, and he's also very useful in a variety of team comps. Just what team doesn't like crowd control? He's good at getting picks with his hook. He's good at protecting carries with his CC and his peel. He has a ton of peel. There's a nice hook on a Nasus. There's a really nice flay onto all 3 members, and then the box as well. Again, using all of my crowd controls, trying to be in the middle of things. Thresh is definitely more of a tanky style support rather than one to sit in the back like a Lux or a Sona or a... What else am I thinking of? Maybe Janna. Those are more, I would say, passive defensive supports, whereas I would say Thresh is more of a tanky, kind of like a Taric or Leona. He's really meant to get into the mix of things and just kind of tear it up. Because of his passive, he does gain a lot of bonus armor. Ooh, a bad place to recall, I think. We'll see. Oh, yep, there goes Rengar, and there I die. So poor place to recall. Should have just ran back home on my merry way. But I think his flexibility with his crowd control is one of his greatest assets. And his, because he can, affect the battlefield in so many different ways, because he can chain his abilities together in so many different ways, it just makes him very powerful. In terms of weaknesses, he offers little sustain. He doesn't have any sort of heal. His shield is on a relatively high cooldown compared to some other supports, and his shield is also used for pulling allies in, so it's a little bit more of like a... I don't know if you necessarily always want to use it for that purpose. Ooh, a missed box right there. Try to keep that Rengar in, but ooh, there's a nice play to get them as they all jump in. But unfortunately, we're not able to really get quite as many kills as we had hoped. And there I finally do end up going down to the enemy Rengar, and he is getting so massive. Oh, I don't even want to look. 27 kills. It's so disgusting. But we are having a little bit of a hard time dealing with him in this game. But anyways, I do really enjoy playing Thresh. I also think that if you don't like playing support, you need to try Thresh, because I think he is a ton of fun. He's extremely useful also, you know, so it's not like, you know, I feel like some of the more fun supports, like the Lux and the Nidalee. Oh, there was a nice use of my Q to get into the position. But he's also very fun to play, you know, using his hook and his flay and his box all have very strong strategic value, so he's very fun and rewarding to play. And in general, I'm very excited to see where Riot goes with the direction of support. I think they've just released a new update on a champion, Ao Shin or something like that, some sort of dragon. Looks like a support. Very excited to see the direction in which they take supports. There's a nice Lantern pull to get Pantheon up towards this lane even faster, just kind of for kicks. Interesting use of that ultimate there by Nasus. But there's a nice pull. I'm going to try to kind of bait my team into this engage, actually. A little bit of a bad situation. There's a nice box, and we are going to get Nasus and getting a ton of slows onto... There we go, nice double kill by Pantheon. But like I was saying, I'm very excited to see the direction that Riot takes the support role in. Thresh, I think, is a very, very good example of a very well-designed support. His kit is, it's very, very highly useful. It's very, very good even without gold. He really doesn't need gold to be effective at all. You can take him into lane and try to abuse kind of the bonus damage on his E, or kind of play more of as an AP caster, although he doesn't really have very high AP scaling ratios, which I think kind of intentionally makes him in a support role with 40% on his Q, 40% on his E. Well, he does have 100% on his ultimate. So a nice box would be really wrecking in a team fight. But I do really like the direction that they are taking supports. You know, champions that are multi-use, that can really thrive in a variety of situations, I think, make really good supports. And also making him really fun to play, I think, is very important. Supports should be fun to play, and you can see in this game I really have tried to build myself a little bit more tanky. Am I going to actually go down? Where's the flay? Oh, nice job by Vayne to pick up that kill. So we have been quite the dynamic duo. But definitely going tankier, getting the Sight Stone and the Philosopher's Stone, but then after that going straight for a Locket. Locket's really good on Thresh. You want to be tanky, you want to be right in the mix of the enemy team. They do have getting a lot of damage on our Nexus, so it's probably going to fall. But anyways, that's Thresh. Ooh, a nice set of CCs to actually pick off that Rengar, and he finally goes down. He is 32 and 4, 250 CS. He is extremely massive. Yikes. But anyways, that's Thresh kind of in a nutshell. He is a really fun champion to play, and very powerful. I would say he's probably one of the best supports in the game, just because of his utility to really thrive in multiple different roles. He can do just about anything very well. Whereas I think a lot of the other supports are a little bit more niche. He doesn't quite have the same disengage potential as maybe a Janna or a Nami. See, Nami I think was just kind of trolling, or maybe she DC'd, I'm not really sure, but Rengar is so big that it doesn't even matter. You can see their Galio is kind of trolling. He's got like a trillion wards, and it really doesn't even matter, just because of how fed that you can see he's at level 18, I'm at level 14, Nami's at level 12, so he's got 6 levels on his support. Our Rengar is level 11, that is absurd. He's got 7 levels on one of our laners. So, actually our jungler, but anyways, overall, I do think Thresh is a lot of fun, and like I said, I think that supports there needs to be more supports like this that offer really complex and rewarding gameplay, that are multi-useful, that can fit into a variety of team comps and aren't very one-dimensional. You know, I really do think that they need to release more supports. I think that support it's one of the things where I feel like the champion designers probably have their greatest challenge, but their greatest reward with designing supports. I think that supports, you know, especially if you look at champions like Nami and Thresh, more of the recent supports, Zyra, they just have very, very cool kits, and all the different possibilities that you have just makes for really, really cool and interesting and fun gameplay. So and I think that they can really do a lot. You know, Riot really sets the tone for how supports are supposed to play based on the types of champions that they release. You know, if you make champions that are really fun and versatile and exciting to play, people are going to want to play them. But nobody really wants to play, you know, Soraka and just sit there and heal your carry every 20 seconds. I don't think that's very fun. I don't think that requires much creativity. And it reflects. She's an older champion, from a different era where different things were required of supports. But with Thresh, you really can see the evolution. And totally failed on the Pantheon jump there. I didn't even notice. But yeah, this Galio was totally trolling it. It actually didn't even matter because, like I said, this was not the best game. But I wanted to show it just because, wow, he just insta-give that Vayne. But I wanted to show this game because I do think that I had some really fun and interesting plays. But Thresh, you gotta try him out. If you don't have him, you've gotta try him. If you never play support, go and buy him and try him out. And I think it will really change your mindset in the way that you look and think about sports. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thresh is a lot of fun and a very strong champion. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.